women. It just sounded a bit weird,
Yeah.
especially since when the allegations first came out.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, it was like the people who broke the story were known transphobes or were associated with
Right.
known transphobes. And here I was like, yeah, Neil Gaiman is a massive trans ally, so trying to attack a massive trans ally in the middle of trans panic, yep, that tracks. And also, he was really close friends with Terry Pratchett, and Terry would not accept that.
Right.
Like, he was a man. Like, I just know who he is, and Terry Pratchett would not accept being really close friends with a guy who was a sex pest.
Yeah.
Anyway, more and more people came out, and I was like, oh, okay, I'll believe it, because more and more people were coming out. And then it turns out that he was lying about his relationship with Terry Pratchett. So I was like, all right, well, so he's been like, so I'm. It's not that I didn't, as I said, it's not like I didn't believe, but this is just how toxic the whole shit is with. This is how an example of how transphobia hurts women, because if I don't trust anything that transphobes say about sexual assault from trans people or trans allies, because they're lying pieces of shit.
Yeah.
But this time around, it was true.
Speaking of transphobia, has your image of Richard Dawkins changed at all through the years?
No. I've always thought he was a piece of shit.
Oh, you always thought he was a piece of shit. Okay. Yes, I think you've mentioned it in our conversation.
Yeah, so my story with Richard Dawkins, I think he's an incredible evolutionary biologist. So I will take my hat off for him when it comes to evolutionary biology, until like when he decided to become a transphobe, because being an evolutionary biologist, he probably should have gone, oh yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So, but that's basically the only thing that I've admired him for. When I first became a
heathen,
freshly minted, a heathen, freshly minted atheist. But I wouldn't even call myself an atheist, because I still believed in God. I just thought God was an asshole.
Right.
So I decided to start reading the God Delusion when I was about 15.
Right.
And as I said, I would have been months out of renouncing my Christianity. And I couldn't even get through the first couple of chapters, because I was like, this guy sounds like a fucking bigot.
Right.
Like, what he's saying is true, but it seems really bigoted. I just
bigoted became a lot more apparent as years went on. The transphobia stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, it was just sort of like, but so I think I was probably about 15 or 16 when I stopped being Christian. And so I was like, all right, well, I've heard the God Delusion is really, really good, for people coming out of, going into atheism, blah, blah, blah. And and it's sort of like, I've never liked him. And then obviously the D. Muslima thing he did to Rebecca Watson as well.
That was just bizarre.
Fucked up.
But Islamophobia is a big thing. It seems to be very trendy. For years now, it has been on the rise. Islamophobia. It's very. How dare you complain about being molested when you see that we are fighting the good fight against Islam? It's very bizarre. Very bizarre deflection.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. God, he was a piece of shit, isn't he?
Yeah. And the way you do know how he basically appears in the files, right?
Can you remind me?
Well, he forwards an email to Epstein about Rebecca Watson, right? He attacks her because she criticized Krauss, and also there was a plan for Richard Dawkins to debunk allegations against Epstein, which holy moly. Oh my gosh.
Didn't
Yeah.
quite happen, did it?
Yeah, didn't quite work out for him. I'm surprised. It's just I don't know if Richard Dawkins has made any statements about his appearance in the files, but oh my, trying to defend the debunk the allegations against him. Oh my God. Especially since by that time I believe Epstein was already convicted um of the of forcing a child to prostitution, right?
Probably, yeah. So I think that was 2008,
When he was convicted,
if
right?
I remember. Yeah.
And the Kraus thing, allegations, that was after that, long after that.
Yeah.
So
When
it's
was Epstein first arrested? I don't trust the AI overview, blah, 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 blah. Okay, it was 2006. Epstein was indicted on soliciting prostitution. 2008 was when he entered the federal plea deal.
right.
Yeah, so yeah, that was when it happened. Yeah, so and that was after Dear Muslima was. When was that written?
Good question. That was after Epstein was arrested, definitely. Because that was for the Kraus thing, right? That was, I believe, that was in one of those conventions. So that was about being harassed at one of those conventions. So that was definitely after the arrest of Epstein, yeah. Which, by the way, while we were talking about Epstein, it still leaves me flabbergasted that he was allowed to just normally work during the day, go out and work, and just had to just report back to jail at night. That is just
Yeah, it was pretty fucked up.
yeah. I guess when you're powerful enough, when you're rich enough, and you have enough influence, the law works in different ways for you than for the regular pleb.
I'm just saying, elevated gate. I'm on the Wikipedia.
Yeah.
It doesn't give a date. When was Dear Muslima written? 2011, according to The Guardian.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this was after Epstein was arrested and
convicted, most importantly.
And convicted. Yeah. So I was. So I think it is now in law, maybe. I have to double check. And laws. Okay, so it was February 20. Okay, this month. As in, the committee will table its report on January 27th. So on February 27th. So in about 4 days' time, it is highly likely, if you say From the River to the Sea or Globalize the Intifada, in Queensland, you could get up to 2 years in prison. So, and it was, how long was Epstein in quote unquote jail for raping multiple children?
From 2007 to 2000 till he died, right?
No, like when. Like
so apologies. I'll go to the toilet real quick. Okay, we'll be right back. Can you talk to the chat while
I will talk to the chat.
Thank you.
So I will look this up right now. Epstein sweetheart deal length. So how you spell length. Okay, so on the Wikipedia page. Sorry, you guys can't see what I'm doing. Early life, career, Epstein company, blah 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 blah. That's fine. Sweetheart. Okay, so the non-prosecution agreement was that from on June the 30th of June 2008 and 15th Judicial Circuit in Palm Beach County, Epstein pled guilty to 1 count of felony solicitation of prostitution and 1 count of procuring a person under 18 for prostitution. He was sentenced to 18 months in prison and officially registered as a sex offender. Although part of the deal, he was required to pay restitution to 3 dozen victims identified by the FBI. So, if I was to say in Queensland, in 4 days' time. I am like, if I was to say From the River to the Sea or Globalize Intifada, with it, in where I could be, quote unquote, causing offence to someone, I could get 24 months in prison. And yet, I could get up to 24 months in prison. And yet, Epstein got 18 months prison, where he could go out and do whatever he wanted, blah, blah, blah. So basically, you just had to sleep in the prison cell. And yeah, and I think, so while most convicted sex offenders in Florida are sent to state prison, Epstein was instead housed in a private wing of the Palm Beach County Stockade, and according to Sheriff's Office, was after 3.5 months allowed to leave the jail on work release for up to 12 hours a day, 6 days a week. This contravened the sheriff's own policies requiring a maximum sentence of 10 months and making sex offenders ineligible for the privilege. He was allowed to come and go outside of specified release hours. Epstein's cell door was left unlocked, and he had access to the attorney room, where a television was installed for him before he was moved to the Stockade's previously unstaffed infirmary. He worked at the office of the Florida Science Foundation, a foundation he had created shortly before reporting to jail. He dissolved it after serving his time.
I've returned.
The sheriff's... Hello. Epstein served 13 months of his 18-month sentence before being released on July 22nd, July 2009, and placed in a year of probation on house arrest until August 2010. His early release after 13 of 18 months served was because he provided information regarding Bear Stearns executives Ralph Cioffi and Matthew Tannen, whose conduct was scrutinized by the SDNY court in Ari Bear Stearns Company, Inc. Securities, blah, 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 before the bank was acquired by JP Morgan Chase. While on probation, he was allowed numerous trips to his corporate jet to his residencies in Manhattan and the US Virgin Islands. So it is considered in Queensland to say from the river to the sea.
Right.
I'm more likely to be there's a chance, not a high chance, but you could still be sent to prison for 2 years for saying from the river to the sea, because it, in the sense of it becoming causing offence. And I would be serving more time in prison than Jeffrey Epstein did because of that sweetheart deal. To give you another example of laws in Queensland that has a 2-year jail penalty. Okay. Hang on. So a mandatory fixed sentence is one sent by Parliament. Hang on. I can't find it, but I did see. Oh, here we go. Criminal Code Act of 1899. Okay, that might need to be updated. No, it's not saying anything. What was it? So 2000. Okay, I can't see executive. Can't see it, but I did actually look it up, and if you are caught with domestic abuse if you are caught with domestic abuse for multiple times, you have a maximum penalty of 5 years. So by saying from the river to the sea or globalize the intifada, that is like not as serious as
having the biggest pedophile ring in history.
Yeah, but it's sort of like, it's absolutely insane to think that being, beating someone up and giving them permanent trauma for the rest of their life, probably permanent injuries, all that sort of stuff, is only considered 2.5 times worse than saying from the river to the sea and globalize the intifada.
Yeah, because
that's just wild.
Yeah. Oh well, it is wild. I'm not surprised that that's the case.
Giant butthole. I just thought you'd like to know the reason why I've stopped streaming is because after the cyclone from in March last year. It damaged the tower that supplies my mobile phone, and I've had shitty internet since then, and it's very frustrating because I've wanted to stream a couple of times, but I can't because the last time I streamed, my internet was way too slow.
The internet in this apartment sometimes can get somewhat slow.
Yeah, no, I used to have really good internet. Now it's like keeps dropping out and shit, and I'm very close to. The only reason why I'm still with this particular service is because I got a really good deal. I got like 250 gigs of internet for like $50 a month. I mean, I could be on
Australian dollars.
Yeah,
right.
I could be on the NBN, but that means that I'd have, which is like, fiber to the property, I think, here where I am, but that's going to cost me like an extra $100 a month.
Ouch.
When so why would I spend? And I don't use that much. It's hard for me to even get to 200 gigs a month. There's no point, but it's so fucking slow right now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I didn't know that. Yeah. Oh no, I wasn't saying that I wasn't being mean. I was just giving you the reason why I haven't been streaming, and the reason why I haven't been streaming is because my internet sucks. So I have to try and see if I can get onto a different provider, but they all fucking suck.
Yeah, it's okay. I'm feeling the streamer space for all the streamers that stopped streaming as a micro streamer.
The micro streamer.
Yeah.
You're a micro brewery of streamers.
Yeah.
You have like the best of the best, the unfound tastiest of the beers.
That's right.
Maybe you're not scraping the bottom of the barrel.
Yeah.
Maybe you aren't scraping the bottom of the barrel. Maybe you're doing like getting the best.
I get the best viewers. I get Dr. Jones. I get
Giant Butthole.
Titan Uranus. I get Simon Pierre Dubé, although I'm not sure if Simon Pierre Dubé is here right now.
You've got the Kentucky Atheist.
Yeah, I got the Ukrainian Nazi people in real life.
Yeah.
It's good.
So what was I saying? Dr. Johnson, you mean there's a dime a dozen in oversaturated market and losing money back? Yes.
What do you mean?
If I do end up...
There's not a dime a dozen of Lucy Hazes. No, that's not true. I'm the biggest Polish Jewish trans streamer that does politics. And we're journalism in Ukraine. Yes, that's right.
Yeah. So going back to the Epstein files, so what... Just a genuine question. I'll throw it back to you. How has your opinion of Dawkins changed since you found out he was in the Epstein files?
Oh, my opinion of him has not changed per se. It just kind of makes a lot more sense, the whole transphobia thing. Because it felt so random. It felt so out of pocket. Like, I don't know, weirdly... Like, no, it actually felt out of pocket both for J.K. Rowling and for Dawkins, that they were so militantly... Dawkins became almost as a militant, a transphobe, as he used to be an atheist back in the day. And that's weird, It's weird that those people are so... J.K. Rowling just straight up funds initiatives that are transphobic with her vast fortune. And suddenly, after seeing them being in the files, it makes sense because of how much transphobia and fetishization of trans people there is in those files. Like the discussions, the email exchanges talking about force feminizing children for clients and all that sort of stuff, about going into research in order to better transition kids for clients. It's very
yuck.
Yeah,
that's disgusting.
Yeah, a lot of it's like basically all of the accusations are just admissions. Like, we want to do it, so everybody has to want to do that as well.
It's fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, the person who I am surprised that became transphobic was Stephen Hassan, the guy who did the bite model.
Oh.
Like, he was going on about the cult, like the bite model. You know about the bite model?
No.
So the bite model it's basically what I call the checklist of a cult.
Yes, okay, yes, I know.
Yeah.
I know about that, yeah.
And then you use the the influence continuum, basically. So, and like, technically speaking, like you could argue any group is a cult. It's a blunt hammer when you need a scalpel kind of thing, but
Yeah.
it is very, very useful just to do like a quick bite model. If you're thinking this place feels kind of toxic,
Yeah.
then you do, and then you got. It's just a good way just to sit back and have a quick think, and and so it's got its uses. Like there's no such thing as a perfect model, and
Yeah, and people tend to forget that, but that's neither here nor there.
yeah,
I almost wanted to get into IR theory, but that's not the topic now. So
yeah. Um, anyway, so he heard about sissy porn, and then he started talking to people who were like, what was it, techno sissy or no? What is it? Oh, I don't remember. Giant butthole. You know what I'm talking about. Meditative sissy porn or techno sissy porn or something like that. And he heard about it from transphobes, and so he
right.
started on a bit of a um, a crazy thing, and people were like, "Dude, this doesn't exist. Have you seen evidence of the techno sissy porn?" And he's like, "No, but I've heard enough about it." And everyone's like, "Dude, what the fuck?" And then he started behaving like he was in a cult, which is very, very common for people who used to be in cults.
Yeah.
It's actually one of the most common things that people who used to be in cults end up finding themselves in another cult
Yeah.
due to like the psychology behind the whole thing is like, yeah. Anyway, I was quite surprised that Stephen Hassan started becoming like that. Like he started becoming transphobic, because you'd think when people are going, "Not, dude, no," it's the transphobes who are in a cult, not the trans people. We have the science behind us. The transphobes who have the cult. And he just was like, "No, no, 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 no. I've done my research." You've done your research by talking to fucking transphobes, you dickhead.
I was actually really speaking of people that became transphobic, I was quite um disappointed with Robert Webb being transphobic, but
Robert Webb? Who's that?
a comedian. Like you don't know David Mitchell?
Vaguely, yeah.
Like
Oh, he's that English guy.
yeah, he's usually partnered up with Robert Webb.
Okay.
He's like they're the duo from that very famous meme sketch of "Are we the baddies? Are we the nuts?"
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently Keira Knightley is not transphobic, but she's like, on the side of J.K. Rowling, which is enough to make me think that you're transphobic. But she's like, "Oh, come on, guys, do we really have to have these conversations about J.K. Rowling? She's blah blah blah." So I was really disappointed in hearing about that.
Yeah.
About Keira Knightley. Yeah, I was like, Keira, you're like my favorite actress growing up, and you're still one of my favorite actresses. Don't be a dick.
Yeah.
Please don't be a dick.
Apparently, it's impossible for people. But yeah, it's for Dawkins and Rowling. It kind of just became. It made much more sense once you learn what's in the files and the context of that. And it's very bizarre that J.K. Rowling likes to talk a lot about defending children, about girls and women, and then she in the files she invites Epstein to a child's event. It's just very interesting to me.
Did you watch the Council of Geeks video on that?
No.
The Council of Geeks basically said, "Look, guys, yes, he was invited, but he wasn't invited by J.K. Rowling." And like there were a whole like it was sort of like this. It's not exactly why the way people like she personally didn't invite him. He just wanted to, and then somebody tried pulling strings to get him in, and so it wasn't like he was invited by J.K. Rowling personally.
That doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter though. No,
It's the organization, so
Yeah, I agree. It doesn't matter, but we need to be accurate. Like she personally didn't invite
Yeah,
him.
but from my
He wanted
perspective,
one.
I realized that it was the organization that invited. That part is clear, but it's still effectively the same thing.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree with you on that one, but we
I do
do need to
realize
be
she did
accurate with these
not
sorts of things.
personally write the letter of invitation. That was clear from the files themselves and from the, that's clear
Yeah.
that it's the organization. But still, she is the face of the organization. She is the person that's behind it all. So whatever the organization does, she endorses. Okay, she did not go, oh no, don't invite this guy. I don't want to sign my name under this or whatever.
Yeah, and she didn't, like, when it came out, she didn't go, holy shit, I didn't know that happened. Because, even though she's the face of the organization, I don't expect a CEO or someone to know that someone like 14 steps down from them invited some creep over. Like, but if she never went, oh my God, I didn't know that happened, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, it's just silence.
She was like, oh, this is just silly shit. It's like, no, this is not just silly shit. She's fucking fuck.
Yeah. Vladimir says, we watched How It Feels to read about the Epstein files, and it was amazing.
How it feels. Okay. Oh, is that a online? Is that a YouTube thing?
I think so. Rowling is just not a serious person. Yeah, Rowling is Rowling is more than just a not serious person. Rowling is a crazy person. I think it's fair to say at this point. They're just basically just funding transphobic endeavors, I guess, out of her own pocket. It's just bizarre and harmful. But, what are you going to do, right?
Yeah.
Apart from pointing out that she was friends with Epstein, but...
Yeah, well, again, if you're a billionaire, in my opinion, you're probably in there anyway. Like, there is no reason why you should be a billionaire.
Yeah.
So one thing that blew my mind, because I decided to go, all right, I need to know what a billion is in Australia. And we use the same definition in Australia as the Americans do. I think Europe uses 1 million.
Yeah.
In Australia and the US, it's 1,000 million is a billion.
Right, because in Polish, for example, you don't say billion is a much bigger number. You say miliard,
which means
a billion.
A billion. Do you use
Do
the
you have
1,000 million?
a million is like an upgrade from a billion is an upgrade from a million.
Yeah. So like 10 is 10 ones, 100 is 10 hundreds, 1,000 is...
I would say that isn't in English, in America, isn't a billion like 100 million?
No, 1,000 million.
Yeah?
That's... Yeah. So the definition of billion changes depending on where you are.
Yeah.
So the definition of a billion in Australia and America is 1,000 million.
Yeah, okay.
Which is...
Miliard, the Polish miliard is 1,000 million as well. Yeah.
Yep.
That's milliard. Hold on.
Yeah. Anyway. So what I was...
Yeah. A billion. A billion, really, in Polish, is the equivalent of 1,000 billion in English.
Right. So that would be a trillion, I think, in English.
Yeah. 1,000 billion is like the miliard is in Polish 1,000 million, and a billion is 1,000 of that.
Okay. Right. So yeah, as I was saying, is different countries do different definitions, which is anyway. So I decided to look up, and I was like, 1,000 million. That's a fuckload of money. Like, if you say to somebody in Australia, what is a lot of money? Like, just say like in millions. You're only allowed to use word million. How many millions would you consider to be a lot? And most people go, oh, maybe 100 million. That's a lot of money. Most people go 100 million. Or higher. You know, some people might go 500 million. It sounds like a lot. And then I say to them, okay, so $1 billion is 1,000 million. So it's double what you would consider to be a lot of money. And then I decided to look up how much the average Australian earns in their lifetime. And the average Australian earns approximately $2 million in their lifetime.
Yeah.
The average Australian property is $1 million.
Yeah, especially since there's a big housing crisis now in Australia.
Huge housing crisis. There's one all over the world. So if you, that's why I was saying earlier, like if you're a millionaire in Australia, it just means that you own a property.
Yeah.
Which I don't consider to be a person that's worth a lot. Like everyone's going, oh, look, a millionaire is like a person who has a lot of money. It's like, no, it's a person who bought a house.
Yeah.
And so the average property is worth the equivalent of half of the average Australian lifetime earnings. And then, which means that if you own $1 billion in Australia, you have the equivalent of 500 people's lifetime earnings.
Yeah.
And like the richest person in Australia is Gina Reinhardt. She's a mining mogul. She did nothing to get that money. The reason why she's a billionaire is
she did something. She was born.
She did something. She was born to. Yeah, she's an heiress. That's why she's rich. She got money because she's an heiress. That's it. And she's got like the equivalent of like 22,000 people's lifetime earnings, which is a small town in Australia.
Yeah.
And then I decided to do the same thing for the US. The average lifetime earnings of a person in the US is like 1.8 million, I think it was. This can change, obviously. This was a couple of months ago.
Yeah.
But my point stands, which means that if you're a billionaire, you in America, you have 666 people's lifetime earnings.
Yeah.
And Elon Musk, at the time that I did my research, was worth like $420-something billion.
Yeah.
Which was like 188,000 people's lifetime earnings. And I think Atlanta has a smaller population than that. Yeah, Melon Husk. Yeah. And it's sort of just like, that's it. Like, to put it into perspective.
Yeah.
Like, if you think 22,000 people, like, entire football stadiums do not hold 20,000 people. Like, 22,000 people. Like,
but Elon Musk is working on AIs and robots that will just replace everybody, and we will not have to work ever again, and we'll all get tons of money, don't you know?
Oh, yeah, absolutely, because that trickle-down economics has worked so well for the past 40 years. But yeah, it's sort of like, if these numbers don't radicalize you, I don't know what will. Like,
that sounded like Tucker Carlson when he went to the Russian supermarket.
Yeah, what did he say? Because
if this will not radicalize you, I don't know what will.
Yeah, but Tucker Carlson's a millionaire. He doesn't understand.
But Tucker Carlson is a twat and a Russian propagandist, so that's all. There's also that aspect.
That's true.
He went to the supermarket, was like, "Oh my God, everything's so cheap in this supermarket." I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just sort of one of those things. And so when I say, if you are a billionaire, you are just automatic. It doesn't matter how nice you are and how much of a good person you are and how much you wouldn't hurt someone. You're a billionaire. You've got enough money to live off multiple hundreds of lifetimes of earnings. You don't need any more. Fucking give someone it away. Yeah. It's and so when it was something like I did a little bit of research on the psychological effects of being just immensely wealthy is and apparently being immensely wealthy causes your brain to just stop being empathetic, which tracks with everyone I heard of.
Which
They're
tracks
like,
with
oh,
the
you're
entire file that we're discovering.
exactly, yeah. And by the time you get that much money, like, what the fuck are you going to spend that money on?
Yeah.
Like, because you don't think to yourself, oh, maybe I should give, a second of my earnings to somebody so they don't starve to death.
Oh no.
But
No.
you don't think about that.
Yeah.
Like, and it's sort of like sometimes it's just like, you hear about all these people over in Palestine going, I need money so I don't die.
Yeah.
Can you give me $30? I admit I don't donate to those people because I just assume all of those are just scams, which sucks. But I do donate to the UNHCR every month because it's just part of who I am. And I help my friends out who don't have a lot of money. And I know I'm not going to get that money back, but I do it because I can and I care about these people. And, charity starts at home. So you really should go and help people out.
Vladimir has really touched upon an important point. When you're immensely wealthy, you start to think that you're good at video games. Have you heard about the whole Elon Musk thing?
Yeah. Well, this is one of the things, and this is going back. Let's go back to John as well, because when we had that conversation the other day, it was I said to you, you said to me, I don't understand why why he lies about this. Yeah, because one of the things is that Elon Musk is like, oh my God, I'm so good at everything. It's like, and then obviously isn't, and everyone thinks you're a fucking idiot. But if you just go, look, I'm shit at this, I'm terrible at it, I recognize it. Yeah. No one, not a single person would be able to say, look, you suck, because you're like, yeah, I know. And it's the same with John, because when I asked him, like, have you done, have you updated your safety policies? He started going on about websites and how I didn't know how to run a website, look at a website, blah, blah, blah. When I wasn't even asking that question, when all he could have done was like, look, we're new at this sort of stuff. We thought we had it up and running, but we didn't do a good job. Our bad. That would have got rid of a shitload.
Yeah, the text of what you're saying is that you have asked him a pretty standard, I would say, that pretty essential question of, okay, your PR guy had this conversation with on a podcast and made an embarrassment of himself defending sexual assault. So did you actually have a policy for sexual assault or for safety of your guests ready before that interview, or did you scramble to write it afterwards because you didn't have it and you realized, oh my God, that's a pretty big little fuck up, right? And he just could not answer that. He just started flating about creating a web page and the pace and order in which you add information to the page. But the question wasn't in what order or at what speed did you plan to add things to your page. The question is, did you have it all prepared before even sitting to write the page, right?
Yeah.
So that's basically
And I tried explaining that to him, but he didn't quite understand English. Because a person that didn't like him or agree with him was trying to tell him something, and therefore my opinion was invalid.
Yeah.
So, but that's the thing. Like, if you're going to be shit at something, go, look, I'm shit at it. I'm terrible at this. It's awful. I know it. You guys know it. Let's just accept that I'm awful at this, and I could probably improve, and people respect you a hell of a lot more. And if you can even make a joke out of it.
Yeah.
As well.
Like I do.
Like, yeah, your microbrewery stream.
Yeah, and of being bad at video games.
Yeah. Oh, I'm shite at them. I'm really, really bad at
them. Especially since, especially because Like I do okay when I can just focus on the game, but when you stream, you also focus on two chats and on talking and I cannot do that. I
Yeah, I can't do that. I
so
can't
I
do that.
just suck when I do it, but I embrace it. Okay, I embrace needing
Yeah.
Dr. Jones's guidance in a linear game. Okay.
Yeah. No, every time I try to draw, I look at him like, oh my God, that's fucking awful. I just like, that's so bad.
Yeah, Dr. Jones
And then I
just
show
said
everyone how
that
awful.
you should see me playing Half-Life 2 and you will understand.
Yeah. Like, I'll just very quickly show you an example of my art. I will draw some art, fan art for you, Lucy.
Thank you. I do art.
Um,
Did you see my art?
you do art?
Yeah.
I think.
I will send you. This is a shameless plug of my Patreon. Okay.
All right. Sounds
Because I
good.
always need more patrons to survive. I do those little comics. I don't just do announcement with dry text. I do a little.
Yeah. It looks real good. I really like it.
Yeah, thank you. It's like
Um,
this one's for everybody, but usually I lock the comment behind $1.
all right. So I will show you some of my art, quote unquote. You can put that up on stream if you really want to. There you go. That's some fan art
Actually, it
from
does
me to
look
you.
kind of cute. No lie, it
There you
does kind
go.
of look kind of cute. Hold on, I'm going to actually. It does look kind of cute. But it's like, unironically, there's a certain charm to this. There is a style to this.
Yeah. Oh, it's when I say I give you art, I put like inverted commas around it. So it's like
I
I
actually
give you
would not use the
art.
commas around it. That does look nice, kind of.
You're saying it is actual art?
Yeah, I mean that depends on what you kind of do with this, but yeah, it could be considered art. I think at least it's not
Yes.
AI
No, you can.
generated, as Dr. Jean says.
No. It is definitely not AI generated. Thank fuck. Imagine if you were paying for ChatGPT.
The environment is ruined for this. The environment is
Yeah.
actively being ruined for this.
Yeah. Okay. So going back to the Epstein files. So Richard Dawkins was in it,
Yeah,
which doesn't surprise me,
and Krauss.
and Krauss, which doesn't surprise me.
I was even wondering for a good moment if it will not turn out that Harris is in them, but I don't think it doesn't seem that way.
I mean, don't forget there's 3 million documents left to be released.
Yeah,
so
that's true. Maybe Harris is somewhere in them.
wouldn't surprise me either being talked about or being actually sending emails, but I don't think so. They would have released. If Harris had been in the files, they would have released that.
Do you think so?
I think so.
Huh.
I mean, don't get me wrong, she could still be in there. But, they were so keen to show everyone that the Clintons were in there. And everyone's we know.
No, I mean Harris, the physicist.
Which
The
physicist?
Islamophobic one.
Not Lawrence Krauss.
No, the other one.
That doesn't narrow it down.
What's his name? God, Sam Harris.
Sam Harris. Oh, yeah, no, he's probably in that.
You think so? You think he's in there?
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. Basically, I think anyone who's in the intellectual dark web would be in that.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, is Jordan Peterson in it?
Jordan Peterson. I actually don't know. I actually don't know if Jordan Peterson is in the files. There's an excellent question, isn't it?
Yeah, because the other ones that you need to ask about is Ben Shapiro.
Yeah.
I don't think he'd be in it because we would have heard about it by now.
Candace Owens.
Candace Owens, I don't know either. I'm a bit concerned about Candace Owens.
Yeah.
She gave birth 8 months ago, and now she's just talking like really crazy conspiracy theory bullshit.
Yeah, trying to transvestigate Macron's wife.
Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of reasons to question Macron's wife. Being trans is not one of them. But the reason why I'm concerned about her is she had a baby 8 months ago.
Yeah.
And since then, like, she's become increasingly and rapidly unhinged. And I do think she's going through postpartum psychosis. Okay, Giant Butthole says Peterson's name is mentioned more in a conversational way with them discussing him or things he's said publicly, but isn't implicated in any of the wrongdoing. He was not a close associate.
He didn't make it.
No.
He didn't make it to the big league. Jordan Peterson.
Sucks.
Yeah. Kermit, the real life Kermit did not make it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he's kind of creepy in his own way. Wasn't he in some sort of
Yeah, he was in a coma in Russia because he was addicted to the medication. Yeah. If that's what you're alluding to, then yes.
Yeah. Giant Butthole says, imagine they won't let Musk come to the parties. Peterson is about 10 times as boring. Yeah, that's true.
Also, they were actually annoyed with Krauss as well. I think from the files, yeah.
Didn't Peterson do something really dodgy, like sexually as well?
Does he have allegations?
I think so. I mean, again, he's a powerful man.
There you go. He was not accused of anything.
So, I mean, there's r/enough Peterson who's there's a Reddit thing, but it's like a hate subreddit, so I don't really trust that.
Yeah, I don't think there's any allegations against Peterson per se. Peterson was in the hospital at the end of 2025 with pneumonia and sepsis. He's recovering slowly, but now has nerve damage and I did not know that. Because I know that he went to cure his addiction to medication to Russia, and that messed him up as well. He was put in a coma.
I heard about that.
Yeah.
You've got CanadaLand.com, which I haven't seen anything about.
Vladimir said he was talking about having a dream about his grandma's pubes in his book. He did the detox. Yeah, he did do the detox thing. I did not know about his recent health stuff, though. I did not know about his 2025 hospital stuff, no.
Didn't he date one of his... maybe I'm thinking of someone else. Didn't he date a person that he was one of his
students?
Clients?
Oh, I don't know. I'm not sure.
There
would be definitely at least a conflict of interest, yeah.
Okay, so nothing's coming up. Maybe I'm thinking of someone else. Yeah. I'm sure Giant Butthole could probably figure out as well, but I might be thinking someone else. I thought he dated someone, but I know that
he definitely did date someone since he has a daughter.
Yes, that's true. But he dated someone inappropriate. I know that when he became famous, he just ghosted the people that had appointments with him, and then tried to use them to tell everyone about how wonderful he is.
Oh, he's been accused. Okay, he's been accused 3 times of sexual misconduct, but I don't know the details. Says Titan Uranus.
Yeah, thank you, Giant Butthole.
But no, he did not make it to the big league in the files. Vladimir says Jordan B. Peterson's daughter got into sexual slavery after visiting Andrew Tate's party in Romania.
Yeah. So that's I mean, as I said, anyone who is famous. What about Dennis Prager? I'm going to tell everyone.
That is a good question.
Yeah, because again, very famous, right-wing, wealthy man. I mean, I don't know. But anyway, depending on how you feel about Dennis Prager, did you know that he's currently paralyzed from the neck down? He broke his neck.
Prager did?
Dennis Prager. He slipped in the bathroom. Broke his neck.
Apparently that's one of the most common ways people get into accidents at their homes, in the bathroom.
So I wish him everything he deserves. So I think so maybe he's got everything he deserves. Maybe he should pull himself up by the bootstraps.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, wasn't Mr. Prager he would fit in the files, considering that he basically said on several occasions that all men are rapists in the making, in the waiting.
Oh yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. I mean, Dennis Prager and co said that Robert E. Lee was a great because he fought against somebody who was trying to abolish slavery. So
yeah. Titan Uranus says, as with Peterson, Prager is mentioned, and there is even a forwarded video of one of his PragerU videos in the files, but he isn't implicated, of course. But of course, he is in there. Of course, he had to be in there somehow, in some capacity, of course.
Yeah, again, being mentioned in the Epstein files does not mean that you were a part of that group of people, or you did anything wrong. Like, like Rebecca Watson was in the Epstein. She's mentioned in the Epstein files, and she's like, yeah, that's because I spoke out against Lawrence Krauss.
Yeah,
and she had to do 2 videos on it. So
basically, Krauss, or I'm not sure if it was Dawkins, or it was Dawkins who forwarded emails about her too at the time.
Yeah. Giant Butthole says, I don't know of any sex scandals involving Prager. Yeah, I would be surprised if there is any. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if there is any, but
so he did say that all men
probably
are rapists.
would have heard about it. Yeah, like,
it's just nature.
You can be a garbage human being without being a sex predator. He's definitely not a sex predator now, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But I suppose, though, Stephen Hawking was in the Epstein files for being a bit of a sex predator, and he was in a wheelchair for the vast majority of his life. So maybe, So Giant Butthole says, I mean, he's a toxic ass clown, but not apparently guilty of sexual assault, which is, a low bar, but he was able to step over it or wheel over it.
Yeah.
Now. Yeah. So Giant Butthole true out the low bar.
Yeah, that is a low bar.
Yeah, it's one of the things. I am ace. This is actually the first time I've made it public.
So you've made it public for the first time here?
So that's I'm asexual, and one of the things that I like about being asexual is that it's like, I just don't have any interest, and like if I do express interest in you, it's like a huge compliment. And so it's kind of good because it's like people can't really accuse me of being sexually inappropriate.
Yeah.
Because it's like I just don't have that. It just doesn't cross my mind for the vast majority of people. And then the last time I told someone who I was like, hey, I'm really interested in you, they went, look, I'm not comfortable with that. And I just went, well, they didn't say that. They were just sort of like umming and ahhing. They were like, I really want to, but I don't at the same time. And I was like, right, I'm just not going to do it. I'm not going to push you into it because it's consent. It's enthusiastic consent. And even though you're giving me consent, it's not enthusiastic. So I'm not going to do it. And we didn't do it. Which really sucked because I really wanted to. But yeah, other than that, it's sort of like, there's a guy at my gym who's showing me interest, and he is very attractive, but I'm like, I just I'm not interested. Like any woman who knew this guy would be like, oh my God, he's hot, you should be getting, and I'm like, no.
So I guess I can put it on the I guess I can make it a title now. Nervaria comes out as Ace is the title of this whole conversation.
Nervaria comes out as ... watch the whole thing.
Yeah,
to find out what
people I guess for me the since we're on the I guess for me it's tied to being emotional about somebody. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Like the sexual attraction is tied for me to some kind of an emotional connection.
For this particular person, it was like, I'm like, I think I'm demisexual. It's like you're only really, it's not a person that's like, to fall in love with them and to be sexually attracted to them, you need to, like, it's just a very small group of people. And so when this person was like, no, I don't want to do it, I'm like, oh God, damn it. That's all right. That is fine. It's,
Titan
but,
Uranus comes out on the stream as a gay Casanova as well, so that's nice. It's that double for the
nice.
price of one,
Yeah. So here we go. You've got two people just dropping their sexual orientation
That's
on
good.
this stream.
That's good.
Yeah. So you should feel proud.
I am proud.
But yeah, please, in this stream, please don't tell everyone, because it's not something I want the whole world knowing. But
Well, it's perfect for a micro stream.
exactly, yeah, micro brewery, micro stream. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, there you go. I'm part of the LGBT community.
Yeah.
Technically,
You are now Lucy has an orbiter.
yep. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I am straight. I don't have a lot of in women, although it has happened in the past.
Oh, I meant in the streamer
tend to
terms.
lean
You are
towards
like
the-
an orbiter of Lucy has a streaming empire.
Yeah. So anyway, that's my that's me coming out as ace and slightly bi.
Very nice. Very nice.
Yeah. So there you go. I'm part of the LGBT community.
Nice. You're part of the cult. Okay.
I'm part of the cult.
No wonder you oppose common sense and the right wing.
Absolutely, terribly right wing. I think we should be more fiscally conservative by giving money to poor people, because that's the best way to grow the economy.
Poor people
infinitely.
don't deserve money because they're poor. Have you considered that? If they deserved it, they would not have been poor. Have you considered that argument?
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Oh, that is a really good point. I never thought of that.
Yeah, if you consider that if they are where they are, then maybe they just did it themselves and,
Yeah, they just didn't work hard enough.
Yeah, they didn't pull themselves up by their bootstraps.
Or in the case of Gina Reinhardt, she worked real hard to get that $42 billion by being born to a rich father.
Yeah.
Okay, this is how fucking racist is this? Her father was known to be a real racist piece of shit. But he had an affair with an indigenous person in the the 1950s.
Yeah.
So take that for wool, because he was a racist piece of shit, and yet he was sleeping with an indigenous person in the 50s.
Oh, racists often fetishize people of color while being racist.
I think he raped her, personally. Anyway, so Gina Reinhardt has a half sibling who's indigenous.
Yeah.
And this person is living in absolute poverty. And Gina Reinhardt does not give a cent to her half sibling. This person, because she, I think it's her sister. Yeah, hang on, I'll just have to look this up because I want to make sure I've got everything right. Gina Reinhardt, half siblings. Ooh.
More than one.
So from the Guardian. Okay. So yeah, it was a working homestead. So at Gina Reinhardt's child home of Mulga Downs, only relics remain of the working homestead that is at the heart of the Hancock family's foundation story. Okay, so a working homestead in the 1950s was basically glorified slavery. Cattle and sheep pens sit abandoned, blah, 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 blah. It's almost 1 million acres in size, blah, 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 blah. Hancock, who was known for his racist comments about Aboriginal people, including that he believed some should be forcibly sterilised, denied claim that he fathered 2 daughters to Aboriginal women who lived and worked in Mulga's Down while he was a young man. He claimed Reinhardt was his only child. At the time of his death, she inherited the Hancock prospecting and estate worth an estimated $75 million. But government documents obtained from State Records Office of Western Australia reveal that Hancock sought ministerial intervention when 2 Aboriginal children, including one of the girls Hancock is alleged to have fathered, were removed from the station while he was its manager. So this was during the stolen generation. So what they used to do was get half what, and this is incredibly racist terms, but I'm going to have to say it because it's the terms that they used at the time, half caste Aboriginal. So like half Aboriginal, half white. And they would actually take these half Aboriginal, half white kids from the Aboriginal families to integrate into white Australia, because after about 2 or 3 generations of breeding between the white and black, like white and Aboriginal people, you can't tell. I think it's like 3 generations is like, it's pretty obvious that
the
they're not
whole
like...
children debacle would explain why he was so pro sterilization.
Probably, yeah. In a letter to the state government, he pleaded for the 2 children to be returned to us. The letter doesn't contain direct evidence that he was the girl's father. The trove of documents also reveal Aboriginal government concerns about sexual relationships between white men and Aboriginal women at Mulga Downs in the early 20th century and into the 1940s. Under Section 46 of the State's Native Administration Act, because it was illegal for a non-native to have sexual intercourse with any native who was not his wife or her husband. One government report claimed there was an unsatisfactory state of native matters at Mulga Downs Station. Another reported that conditions were very bad indeed, with sexual intercourse between white station employees and Aboriginal women going on nearly every night. So basically, white station employees were raping the women. Correspondence between the state's Commissioner of Native Affairs and police also showed that authorities questioned conditions at the station and at one point threatened to reconsider Hancock's suitability to hold a permit to employ Indigenous workers if he did not help them to suppress illicit intercourse. Hancock lived at Mulga Downs as a young man and took over management of the station in 1935 when he was 26. The documents outline the details of a number of children who were alleged to have been fathered by white men who were forcibly removed by the government from the station, with reports of child removal going back to the 1920s. One of these children, Sella, who was reportedly born under a mulga tree at the station in 1932, subsequently claimed that she was Hancock's firstborn daughter. She made the claims in Perth's Sunday Times, saying she wanted recognition. Another woman, Hilda Kickett, also claimed in 1992 to be Hancock's daughter, an assertion supported by her family in Barry Hickey, who later became the Catholic Archbishop of Perth. Kickett had been born to Port Hedland and removed to an orphanage in Perth. She tried to visit Hancock on his deathbed, but said she was denied. Hilda also shares Reinhardt's first name. She was Christian Georgina. She died in 2020, but her son, Kelvin Hickett, spoke to the Gina podcast. Hancock's lawyer, Alan Camp, issued a statement in response to denying Hancock's paternity of the women, saying it was not in Lang's style. That wasn't the kind of thing Lang Hancock would do, he said. I have spoken to young men who worked around Mulga Downs with Lang, and I have spoken to confidence and said nothing like this was ever mentioned or rumoured. Kickett's claim was reportedly recognised by Hancock's second wife, Rose Porteous, who told journalists after Lang's death in 1992 that Kickett was his daughter, and the mining tycoon had confirmed this to her before he died. Right. Now previously unreported, later uncovered by The Guardian, reveals that Hancock sought ministerial intervention after Sella was removed by authorities from Mulga Downs with another Aboriginal girl called Minute. Hancock said the authorities had kidnapped, quote unquote, the children, who were aged 6 and 8. Sella also admitted that Minute was a Hancock child, the daughter of Lang's father, George. In the absence of the manager of the station, the local police officer and inspector ran down and captured 2 half-caste children who were decently clothed and fed, and cruelly took them from their mothers to be a burden on the state, despite the fact that they and their parents were fed, clothed and insured by us, Hancock wrote in the October 1940 letter to the state's Minister for the Northwest. No letter of explanation was left or forwarded. 24 miles from us, there are 9 starving, ill-clothed, half-caste and quadroon children. Oh my God, that is so fucking racist. Of whom both the inspector and the police have been notified, but nothing has been done about them. Hancock criticised the government for the resources used to remove the children, saying it had spent money to burn up petrol to travel 400 miles to collect 2 well-fed children, leaving 9 others who were starving, as well as 2 half-caste children on a neighbouring station. I'm sorry about this. Hate this. No dogs were shot or rifles collected here, so the trip cannot be described as anything but a wanton waste of taxpayers' money, which we think would be better spent by the police rounding up thieves who broke into one of our outcamps. Blah, 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 blah. So basically, it's looking like that he was he fathered 2 children and and these two people are Gina Reinhardt's sister, and they're both in squalor. Well, one has since died, obviously, but yeah, garbage human beings.
Yeah, classic story.
Oh, goodbye, giant butthole.
Yeah, Titan Uranus has left.
Yeah. So, as I said, if you are a billionaire, you are a piece of shit.
Yeah, that is how that goes, sadly.
Actually,
yeah,
George Pell, Epstein files, George Pell probably wouldn't be. The reason why I ask George Pell, but it's not coming up. Yeah. So George Pell was a convicted sex pest. Originally he was done for he was the Cardinal of Australia, and he was like next in line for the Pope. He was like really high up in the Catholics. Well, maybe not like next in line, but he was, could have very easily have been a Pope. And he was accused of being a sexual abuser, and he was arrested, sent to prison, and then I think it was Tony Abbott, who is a very Catholic man in all of the bad ways, just got him out, basically, from what I remember. But it was like in 2017, he was in trial. In December in 2017, he was in trial, and he ended up being arrested and going to jail, and then got a light tap on the wrist.
As powerful people do.
Oh,
yeah.
Hang on.
Has something happened?
Oh, I just saw Hagen's Berman blog. No, it's a blog. It's sexual harassment news. USC Cardinal Pell, Jeffrey Epstein. Hang on, I don't know. DailyTrojan.com looks a little bit. Haven't heard of this.
I've never heard of that either.
Yeah, sorry, can't tell you if he was found in the Epstein files, but George Pell, again, wouldn't surprise me if there's been any anything
it feels
to that.
like all of them are in the files, to be honest. It feels like it would be easier to name all the people that are not in the files than all of the people that are. That's my impression of the whole thing.
Yep. I mean, I'm not in the files.
Yeah, but we're not,
Really. I might actually know someone who might be in the files.
Oh, personally?
Personally, yes, I might. Again, there's 3 million files that have been released. It's not likely, though. I don't think it's... I've looked up their names and they're not in there. But again, there's 3 million more files that need to be released. So, we'll have to wait for them. But yeah, I might know someone personally who...
Is their identity a secret?
Yes. So I'm not going to say who it is. Right. But if I'm going to tell you this now, if they're not in the Epstein files, or this person might not be. I'm going to be they might just be just a wanker. I don't think they're powerful enough to have gone to Jeffrey Epstein's stuff. They're just friends with somebody who is in the Epstein files and really close friends. Okay. So it's a very small chance of happening, but it's not a non-zero chance of that happening. Okay. If I'm gonna say Jeffrey Epstein is extremely likely to not be the only person who was running a cabal.
Right.
I know that sounds conspiracy theory brain, but it wouldn't surprise me in the slightest.
Well, he's the biggest one.
He's the biggest one. There's other ones out there, I think.
Probably. That'd be surprising.
It wouldn't surprise me in the slightest because from what I've heard about those types of people, is that you get so rich, what are you going to spend that money on? That's just and if you're surrounded by a whole heap of horrific people, who do these things, and you don't want to join in, then you become a pariah, and then that's where it's just, you need to be able to be happy to sleep with children if you want to get more money and grow your business. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if there's multiple ones of these rings. It's just that Jeffrey Epstein was the biggest and the most famous.
Yeah.
Because they're billionaires, and all billionaires are evil regardless of how you made that money.
Yeah.
That's my theory. Like, I mean, look at fucking Andrew Tate. He wasn't even a billionaire, and he was running a fucking yeah.
He bragged about going to Romania to make it easier for himself as well. Because Andrew Tate is an idiot.
Yeah, and he's like, he is. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we do a lot more digging and stuff like that. There'll be, at least tens, probably even hundreds of wealthy sex trafficking rings amongst the wealthy. It wouldn't surprise me. So yeah, just because they're not in the Epstein files doesn't mean that they're not doing something fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah,
I would say.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Do you have anything that you would like to touch upon with me?
We've covered everything.
All right.
I think so. Yeah, as you said with John, the question, do you think I'm a pedophile kind of thing with that John, in context with the Epstein files, that is a weird thing to say.
I think so.
And the fact that what's this called? Lawrence Krauss is in there, known sex pest. Silver Dick, he was closely associated with Silver Dick. I really should stop calling him that because it makes him sound like he's got like a really dick man. He's an absolute dick. David Silverman, he was closely associated with all those people, and David Silverman isn't in the Epstein files, but again, he is an anti-woke, anti-feminist man who has credible sexual assault accusations against him, and he was a very influential person as well during the late 1990s, early 2000s. So I wouldn't be surprised if David Silverman, I mean, his company came up, I think, but he personally didn't. But again, there's still 3 million files to be released. So we were only looking at how many? It's half of the files have been released, but a lot of them have been redacted. It's like,
oh yeah.
So we're only seeing the tip of the iceberg.
You have the silly shirt with the censored, a bunch of barcodes, and the other person saying, "I'm sorry, I don't speak Epsteinian." So yeah,
so we've got to wait.
Yeah,
I'm
not sure if we're gonna get more, but
I think they have to. I think they actually have to release it by law. But it's not exactly like the Trump administration is following the law. But if America actually doesn't fall into fucking insanity, and I don't think Trump's going to be president by the end of the year.
Well, maybe we'll see a third term.
No, I don't think he will be, because he's almost 80 and he is just rapidly declining in health.
He's gonna borrow life extending techniques from Putin.
Maybe, but he's rapidly declining in health. He's just not looking well. I don't think he's going to be president. He'll either be impeached or inboxed. So it's one or the other.
We'll see.
I
prepare for the worst. I prepare for a third Trump term.
Yeah. Again, I don't see him finishing out a third term for the same reasons.
And with that, and even if something happened to him, we're not gonna get much better with JD Vance. So yeah.
I think when Trump dies, MAGA will collapse, because it's a cult of personality. So when the personality dies, and this is just historically, this is what's happened, is when the personality of a cult of personality dies, the person who steps up doesn't wield as nearly as much power because they're not the original person. And like if JD Vance and Trump grows together, and JD was the person second in line to Trump from day dot, then he would have been able to. He'd be able to, but because JD Vance only just came in, and also he has an Indian wife. Yeah, no, Marga will collapse. I think. Just historically, that's what's happened. What happens with cults of personality.
It's okay. He's gonna become a national hero by replacing his wife with Charlie Kirk's wife.
No, but maybe the couch though.
Maybe.
I'm also gonna do a conspiracy theory. I don't think he fucked a couch. He's more of a lazy boy man to me. I think he's more of a lazy boy man. Yeah.
Probably not. No.
Yeah. But yeah, I think MAGA will collapse. But even though MAGA might be collapsing, it doesn't mean that the Heritage Foundation's not. It's got Project 2025 tracker. Where is that? 51% of their objectives has been completed. So US, yeah. So that's horrifying. So the thing is that the Heritage Foundation has
I did play Hello New Vegas. I have to finish it, but I'm playing it on stream. Thank you, Dr. Jones.
Yeah. So yeah, the Project 2025. Now that they've got brought in a lot of those rules, it's like even if JD Vance and Trump fail, the Project 2025 and the Heritage Foundation has won, regardless of So we're not out of the woods. They need what they need to do, and this is what they're not going to do because they're cowards. They need to actually imprison every single person in the Trump administration, and they need to dissolve the Heritage Foundation.
That's not going to happen. No,
it's not going to happen. But that's what they need to do because they're fucking fascists.
That's not happening.
You know, that's never going to happen, which fucking sucks. Alrighty. Well, I'm going to let you go.
Thank you.
If you've got nothing else.
Yeah, I think we've covered all of our topics.
Yep. But thank you for having me on. I really do appreciate it. When I start my masters, I'm more than happy to come in and talk to you about what's happening with my masters if you ever need me to come on, mainly because I'll have to do it. Just go, hey, this is what I'm doing.
Yeah,
it helps. Yeah, it helps. That was actually one of the things that I found out that really helped when I was doing my university degree, is if I didn't understand something, I would do a video on it.
Oh.
And then I would understand it really, 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 really well. So I might end up starting my channel up again purely because I'll be like, I don't understand this concept, so I'm going to have to teach everyone how to do this.
Yeah.
All right. And yeah, thank you everyone for coming in and hanging with us, by the way.
Yeah. Please become $1 Patreons.
Yeah. Can I plug something though?
Of course.
On my channel, I have 3 videos that I would like everyone to watch.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen it yet. The first one is the Illuminati. The first Illuminati.
Ableism, transphobia, and lies?
No, that's the second one. So the first one is the Illuminati's untruth about the...
Yep. BID? Was it...
Yep.
Illuminati
that's the first one that I did.
Accused of plagiarism, right?
Yes. And everything else as well. She's a piece of shit.
Was Illuminati transphobic as well?
Well, the second video is the Illuminati's ableism, transphobia, and lies. That's where I tell you why I think she's transphobic. Long story short, BID, like it's also known as BIID, but the most updated term is BID, is a neurological disorder where the brain and the body don't connect, basically.
Right.
And the person with BID has a compulsion to remove a body part or become blind or become deaf or become disabled in some way. And it's not because they are wanting to become disabled because they want to become disabled. It's because they have severe anxiety and depression and stuff. It's basically like being trans, but rather than for gender, it's for a body part.
Right.
And Illuminati's video was the biggest video on BID on the internet. Like huge. It was like the most watched video.
Right.
And there was not even once did she mention the word neurological disorder. Like not even once in a video. And she just shat all over them. And anyway, of course, because BID has a lot of similarities to transphobia, like being trans. And I think a lot of people with BID are also trans because their brain is kind of not doing what it normally does. It's aberrant. Not that I'm saying trans people are aberrant, but I'm saying like it's in the same way, like having red hair is an aberrant color because only 3% of the population has red hair. So it's outside of the norm, even though like statistically, but even though obviously I think trans people are normal people and I'm just trying to make that really clear. Right. It's just, it's the same sort of thing. Like the brain is just outside of the norm. And so people who don't understand BID get really pissed off about it, which is understandable. I can see, like, if you don't understand the physiological and the neurological reasoning behind why people have BID, and the same with being trans, it freaks you out a little bit.
Yeah.
Because people are afraid of things that you're not familiar with. Like, anyway, so my second video, which is the third one in my series, ignore the middle one, watch that so you can have a better understanding of the bigotry that a lot of people with BID have. And my third video is the smallpox video. Oh, and how to pick a good scientific journal. Watch that one too, because that one's quite a lot of fun and has good information in it. Yeah. So those are so if you wanted to watch videos, the Illuminati ones, the smallpox, because I put fuckloads of time and effort into that and it doesn't have a lot of views in it. How to pick a good scientific journal. And also, if you wanted to continue on, I would say it's not the Wuhan flu, which is where I explain why calling any disease after a group of people or a or a geographic location is why it's racist. I do explain that. Yeah. It's not the Wuhan flu. And another one is speedrunning vaccines, where I explain how why the COVID vaccine seemed to have just come out of nowhere. Because the first trials, like stage 1 trials of the COVID vaccine came out was like in March. Like in 3 months, they developed a vaccine for COVID-19, which is wild. And I explain why. Okay. So those are probably the best ones that I've done, but yeah.
All right. They are all on the screen as well right now.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And other than that, I do appreciate all of the chats and everything.
Thank you very much.
Right. All right.
I hope to see you soon and Godspeed, as they say.
You too. You too. Wish you all the best. Thank you. I hope everybody has a good...
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Right. Bye.